guess it'll be interesting to find out what happens, but I'm slightly doubtful right now.
The only reason I will not succeed is because I didn't work hard enough.
I'm going to be a filmmaker. It's not an option. It's gonna happen.
I believe that if you stick to it long enough and you actually really are passionate about it, you can do it. And that's where I'm at. So we'll see after the end of these 9 months where I'm at. If I'm still like, I'm just gonna go for it. But I mean, that's how I feel.
Don't go in and change the dog, change the mouse feed, and put it in just...
10,000 hours rule. You know, to be an expert at anything, you have to do it for 10,000 hours. It's insane, but that's what's necessary. So you just do it over and over and over. And I think that if I put in the work and I put in the time, there's no reason I can't succeed.
I know Zach was already making short films before he came to school.
My name's Zach Scott. I'm from Northern California. Talking about zombies, Joe. The undead. They're here, right now. It's your job to kill them.
I kind of like that because I know that they're passionate enough to have done it even on their own, and now they're willing to go to film school for it.
Those were some of my first projects. Super low budget. There was like, $30 a week from my parents for allowance that went to that movie. I had to dub over one of the actors who decided to bail on us.
Action.
I know in my heart that you are still alive.
Now, Krista was interesting. The times I've talked to her, she seems too timid for filmmaking.
I'm really tired. If I put it in other film festivals, I hope it gets recognized. If that's what I want to do.
I could definitely feel the passion and the drive that she has. She is determined. I like that about her. She's determined, and she's going to need that.
My name's Alex. I'm from San Diego, and I'm on a trip through film schools, hopefully ending in a place where I can do underwater work for documentary.
What I liked about Alex's projects was they're close to what I am passionate about, because he wants to do wildlife films, especially underwater stuff. So that's rare that I get a student that likes to do wildlife. He's not only a wildlife and outdoors type of person, he's very arty, and that's what I like about his work. He's very creative. Jeff? Well, I tell you, there were things I liked about him, and then things that I thought were chaotic.
Do you do this at home too?
Better.
Just have the camera pointed at you, look at yourself? Oh yeah, my webcam on my...
I don't know what his goals were, if he wanted to direct or write or shoot. I don't know. But you also can't be a loose cannon. That's the kind of thing I would worry about for somebody like Jeff. If he can fit in with that model, that system, then he'll do really well.
No one's going to hold me back from being a filmmaker.
It's pretty easy to go out there and shoot things nowadays in regards to, your kitty cat in your living room, your baby dancing, and putting it on YouTube. It's not what we do here. We aspire to be the filmmaker.
Seeing the struggle they go through, it's not an easy industry at all. And I know a lot of people have kind of a romanticized version of what it is. We try to knock that out of them as soon as possible when they come to school, so that they get a realistic perspective on what it's really about.
This side of the 180. I'm going to want to match that with the same shoulder on this side. And I'm using...
First semester really is the introduction to equipment and working with each other. The number one is communication. If you can master that, then you can really handle film or anything else that you're going to go into. If you can handle that one thing, practice. It's every week, and you're turning in a project. So that gets their hands really into the process.
Whether it's news, wedding photography, infomercials, promos, in film school, we're thinking about Spielberg, we're thinking about, Lucas, we're thinking about theatrical films, we're thinking about grandiose. And we get to the point where we're trying to achieve that type of quality in our first film. And then we come out and we see the end of our project in a film festival, hoping the audience will receive it just as well as they received Jaws.
It's a story about young James Bond who is getting revenge for his parents' death, and it's a coming-of-age story about finding the balance between control and power in your life.
My film is about one man and what he has to go through and find in himself to overcome a marriage with a secret he didn't understand. Violence can be so horrible, so horrifying, but taken to a certain level, it can also be extremely comedic. And I've always liked sort of playing around with that aspect of violence. There's just something about it. When you take things to sort of an over-top level, they can get entertaining.
Well, I just gave my pitch, and they picked the first one, so that's what I wanted to do. Of course, it's called The Man Who Musicked, so it's basically about a guy who goes around and he emits music from his body.
Overall, I would say it's about the urchin trade in San Diego, and it's specifically looking at the consumption of urchins, because a lot of people don't even know you can eat them. I just started diving last summer, and I'm a pretty confident diver, but I've never dove in with a camera before.
The script that I originally wrote had gotten, I don't like to use the word butchered. I'm still in the process of revising it and adding tidbits here and there. Coming from the aspect of getting paid minimum wage as a DJ for a roller skate rink, I've had my share of working hard for my money. I still got my confidence up there 100%.
The coffee shop night was really crazy. We started shooting from about 9 at night till I want to say about 4 or 5 in the morning. Okay, Chief.
I said you were told.
I'm actually gonna go with the B sticker.
Action. It ended up running into a few problems. Cut. The moment we tell Ben he can come home, we realize we just broke the 180, and we end up having to call him to come back, which is one of the most, I think, embarrassing things that you have to do on set. I felt kind of irritated and a little bit stressed because not only you only have the coffee shop for a little amount of time, but now you have to go back and reshoot something else that you just shot.
It's 11:30 and we have to get through a lot of shots tonight.
Action. People are starting to get really tired. The worst part during that night was the batteries weren't charging correctly.
Seriously?
Aaron, did you see that? I don't know, Jeff. I can't get the camera to turn on right now.
Okay, I'm killing this light so you can take the light.
How does it do that?
Turn it on, please. Relax. Turn it on, please.
I know you're stressed out. You can't get the crew on.
Yeah, turn it on, please.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put one of those batteries on the charger. We're gonna have, how many chargers do we have? 2? I want 1. Everyone to come in a circle. So we're gonna wake up while the battery's charging. Okay? Alright, so everyone go like this. Okay. Andre, come on. Well, I got my group into a giant circle and I made them do some very active things. So kind of keep their brain and their body moving so, you don't fall asleep. That way they're staying awake and the batteries are charging.
Stephanie, what do you want?
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do while we're also waiting for this. Guys, listen up. So we know our next shot is gonna be on Stephanie.
I'm trying to look at getting all my film filmed within 7 days. So the stress of the project is starting to get to me, and just realized how much more resources I'm gonna have to pull and pour into this project to see it through to the vision that I see it. And
I have no actors. I have one location and 6 days. In a way, I'm kind of saying my final goodbyes to the school because of the fact that the materials that were provided for me didn't really work out.
Setbacks to being a filmmaker as you move on to continue the career in the field, relationships are lost because we work 14 to 18 hours a day and sometimes for free. We strive to continue to be in an industry that is not accommodating in relation to resume work to give you that 9-to-5 job and a for sure paycheck. It's not stable.
You could actually work very hard and be really great at what you do, and that doesn't guarantee that you'll get where you want to be.
Everyone in filmmaking has a void, and they long to discover what's there.
What is that determination? I mean, why do we do it? And that's really hard to explain. Why do I do this when I could be making money at something else?
In our pursuit of the void in which we long for our connection with an audience, we are fulfilled by their relation to our experience and what we share up on the screen. We have expectations and aspirations in which we see ourselves as a filmmaker. When we don't meet those, we tend to give up and make excuses. Maybe your actor didn't show up. Maybe you lost your location. Maybe you didn't have enough money for an effect. Maybe you don't know something. You go out of your way as a filmmaker to figure it out, or you stumble as best you can with one foot in front of the other through those mistakes to understand how you can create a solution to make that film. Don't give up.
Fight scenes are never easy, ever easy, especially when you add in Steadicam.
So we had to come up an elevator, go through a whole restaurant.
It was really cool, actually, and I feel like Jay was really lucky that both of the actors in the scene were martial artists and were able to help out a lot choreographing the whole thing, so it was pretty cool. He got to use these sugar glass bottles, which were, I think we had 12 of them.
After those 12, we couldn't do any more takes no matter what, so we knew we were only going to get that many takes. Zach was demonstrating to me how he was going to put the bottle down.
It was some stupid little thing. And I just put the glass down and the bottom was just and I was like, sorry. I was like,
11 takes.
Yeah, who broke the bottle, guys?
Ideally, I wanted to hold the whole shot. And so everything in that entire take needed to be good.
That was insane. Steadicam after Steadicam.
Yeah, that was good. Let's go one more and then we're done. Okay.
All of the focus points were pretty much on
All the whip pans were on, the acting was spot on, the way that he threw everything was spot on.
It's like, we got it.
He goes to open it, and he opens it, and he has a plunger as his weapon at this point. And it's just this like friendly, nice little Mormon guy who starts trying to sell him the Bible and whatnot. Do you believe in God? And Mark is like, well, funny you ask. And as soon as he says that, the second assassin runs up with the samurai sword and just shoves it right through the Mormon's back, piercing him through the heart, and just blood sprays on Mark and sprays everywhere.
Jay told us that he was afraid of blood and guts and gore, and he could not see them without getting queasy, even if it was fake.
It's a bit silly, but I don't know. I don't handle blood well. I've never handled blood well. So when there's like blood flying at the camera, it was making me a bit queasy.
So we had to have somebody else operate the camera. We had to have the sword go through his back and out his chest. And so obviously you can't just do that.
Bianca went ahead and actually put a prosthetic sword that was like latexed onto his chest.
So it already had blood dripping down it, and then we had pressurized squirters coming out the sides.
Action!
Blood everywhere, and the problem was also that it was everywhere.
The Mormon was getting stabbed and blood was squirting, and it kept getting all over the lens. We thought it had seeped into the actual lens, it had got under the casing and was doing some damage. So we had to clean the lens off because it wasn't ours, so if there was any damage to it, it was going to come out of Zach's pocket. There was some times where the blood had dried too much and it wasn't able to come off. Luckily we got it all off, but I was nervous.
I guess is gonna be the most infamous scene from that movie for being just sick and awesome at the same time. That's kind of just what I've always imagined I would love doing based on my interests, and so I wanted to put it to the test and see if I could do it. We had our one day to go follow Pete Halme, one of the most experienced divers there is in the world today. It was not going to be easy. I further proved that point on the first dive. When we dove in, it was way more difficult than I expected because the first dive was about 6 inches of visibility. So I'm trying to follow Pete with a camera, and I can't even keep up from a scuba standpoint. But then we went over to a more clear area that had probably 15 feet of visibility. I was able to follow him the whole time. I was happy with what we got for that. And I think what's even more important than that was when we got back on the boat after that last dive and we were heading back to the bay, I totally just knew that that was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I have the passion and the patience to go out and live in the wild for 2 years to try to shoot animal activity we have not seen before.
Nothing's going to be handed to you with a silver platter. You have to put yourself out there, and that's what I love about filmmaking.
I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be working jobs I didn't want to so I could then afford to make films.
I hold a pretty high standard for myself just because I want to be good. I don't know, it's scary. It's scary to try and fail, but you know that it's necessary.